This is DWBS Sports. DWBS Sports, it's your favorite show. DWBS Sports, where degenerates go. DWBS Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to DWBS Sports for Thursday. Papa Dude, we've got a lot going on, man. How excited are you for these college football games coming up?
Oh, I can't wait. I think there's going to be some really good ones. I'll watch them all. You know, I'll see. I mean, I'll watch like the MAC championship. I won't watch all of it, but I will definitely tune in to see what's going on. There's going to be some really good games. And who knows what's going to happen? Who's going to get beat? Somebody will.
Somebody will for sure. Speaking of getting beat, how about Arkansas fans? They got something to be excited about. Their basketball team beat Duke last night. That was like I didn't watch much of it, to be honest. I watched the last of it. Pretty good game. Pretty good game for the Razorbacks.
It was, and we watched them the other day when the family was here because they are big Arkansas fans. They got beat that game, but you could see they got talent. They're athletic. They put it all together last night. We've seen Arkansas beat teams in Bud Walton Arena a lot, and that's a tough place to go play. I don't know how good Duke is. I'm sure they're pretty good, but they got them last night. A big win for the Hogs.
Huge win, and yeah, everybody's feeling good. We'll talk about more Arkansas stuff in just a minute, but let's get to the games. Let's do this first here. We got 10 conference championship games. Like you said, you're excited for almost all of them. We'll kick it off with the Conference USA championship game. Now, you may say, who cares about this? I actually am really looking forward to this one. New Mexico State 10-3. They are on a roll. Remember, they went to Auburn and won just a couple of weeks ago. They take on Liberty, undefeated Liberty, 12-0. They finally get ranked. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the last unbeaten small school, right? Is Liberty?
Yes.
Yep.
I think how many are there? 5 left, or are there 6?
Yeah, there's 5. There's Liberty and then the big 4 that we'll talk about.
Right.
Liberty is 11.5-point favorite. The game is at home. They play these games. Some of these smaller ones, they'll play them at home.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think?
Yeah, they play it at home, so they'll get a decent crowd. So, yeah, they're undefeated. They're now ranked number 24. And playing a team that no one knows much about, unless you're junkies like us, came out of nowhere, won 10 games. They're on a roll. They're playing great. Slaughtered Auburn at Auburn. Why can't they win? You know, I think the points are too many. I think Liberty's going to win, but I think the pressure of being undefeated, New Mexico State's on a roll. 11.5. I think it's too many. I think Liberty's going to win, but I'm going to take New Mexico State in the points.
Give me a New Mexico State plus 11.5. Yeah. I think New Mexico State's going to beat them.
They might.
I think they're playing so well. They have to go on the road, and that's not going to be easy. But they did go to Auburn and win.
What's the difference? I mean, that's not going to bother them.
No, I don't think it'll bother them. Maybe Liberty wins. I just think with the points, you take New Mexico State in this one plus the 11.5. I really like it.
Yeah, you got a team that's playing really, really well. So's Liberty. But does that undefeated bother them a little? Is that a little bit of pressure? Are they in line for a big bowl? They're not, right? Because Tulane would probably get that, right? Mm-hmm. What is there? One spot available in the year, 6 bowls for
Correct.
the best mid-major or whatever.
Now, if Tulane was to lose, we'll talk about that in a second. Maybe Liberty could sneak in there.
Yeah. So they do have that on the line as well. So the pressure may get them a little bit. I do think they win. I think they're a little better, but I think New Mexico State's going to throw a scare into them.
All right, we're both going to Mexico State with the points in this one as we kick off the weekend. Now, the big game on Friday, obviously the Pac-12 championship game. This is pretty much, unless something incredibly unforeseen happens, this is pretty much a win and you're in for the playoff here. Number 5, Oregon, number 3, Washington in a rematch. Now, a couple things. Washington was the winner of the first matchup. Yet they're 9.5-point underdogs this time around for the Pac-12 championship. Mm-hmm. Who you got in this one?
I think this is going to be a good one. It's in Vegas. Oregon, after that game, when they played before and Washington beat them. Oregon's played better than Washington has. And that's why you got a 9.5 point line. So you got a rematch. And you say the winner's in. I agree.
Yeah.
I think they are too. And we'll get to something in a minute I want to talk about when it comes to Ohio State. Why they aren't being considered as well. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yep.
Do you think 9.5 is too many?
It's a lot.
I'm trying to sit and think.
A lot.
Oregon has been much more impressive than the Huskies.
Yep.
But the Huskies have won. They've figured out how to win games, and there's something about a team like that you got to respect a little bit. And I don't think they're playing great. I question their quarterback some. I think after what he did the other night at the end of that game, and he wasn't hurt or anything, that's pretty weird. In case you didn't see that, you need to go back and look at it. I think 9.5 is begging you to take Oregon, maybe. I'm not going to do it. I think Washington's going to play them closer than that. I think Oregon's going to win, but I think Washington's going to come up with a good game plan and stay with them.
I feel like Washington has just been begging to get beat for so long, and they to their credit, they haven't. They've been able to survive it. I don't think they're surviving it again. I'm going to go Oregon. I think I'm going to take Oregon minus the 9.5. I think they're awfully good. I think they're awfully good. I think I'm a huge fan of Dan Lanning. I think he's done a great job.
He has.
I think he gets it done here. I just feel like Washington has been fading. Again, I want to give them a ton of credit for holding on, hanging in there, getting to 12-0. Really impressive. Maybe they do it again, but I don't think so. I think Oregon's gonna win this one. Give me the Ducks. All right, let's go to Saturday, the Big 12 championship game. Texas 11-1, Oklahoma State 8-3. Texas is a 15.5 point favorite.
I don't give Oklahoma State any chance at all in this game.
Nope.
Great coaching job. They won some games they probably shouldn't have. I was listening to a guy today talking about they had the easiest schedule of anybody in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to play Texas in the regular season.
Yeah.
They never had to play a game in the state of Texas.
Yep.
Except Houston, which arguably is the worst team.
And they should have lost.
And they should have lost.
Yeah.
So they're fortunate to be there, but they still won the games they had to. So I'm not knocking them at all. The last couple of weeks, they have not played well at all. The only thing about Oklahoma State, when you count them out, is when they play their best. There's something about Gundy and how he gets that team ready. When you count them out, they play well.
Yeah.
Texas has struggled as well. They did blast out of it last week against Texas Tech and slaughtered them like we thought they would do some of these other teams, and they haven't. So they have a tendency to play down to their opponents some. 15.5 is a lot of points. I don't usually take a team like that, but I'm going with Texas. I think they're going to kill them.
I think it's going to be – I agree. You think about what Oklahoma State does well, that's run the football. They shouldn't be able to run it much on the Texas defensive front. It's pretty darn good, and I think that's going to be the big key. I think Texas gets them here. I think it should be a pretty easy win, I think. I think sometimes you get in these situations, you get a little scare. I kind of think Texas just kind of takes control, and that's it. I think they'll win pretty easily. So we're on the same one there with the Longhorns. The MAC championship game, Miami of Ohio and Toledo. This is going to be a pretty good game. I mean, probably people did not follow these two teams all that much during the year. Pretty good teams here in the MAC. Toledo, an 8-point favorite. Who are you going with here?
Toledo's the class of the MAC. They're in it almost every year. Miami has a great tradition. I don't like the way they've played. I think Toledo is better than they are, whereas this played in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't matter much. I'm going to go with Toledo to cover.
I'm going to go Miami of Ohio.
All right.
I watched the first time these two played. It was a pretty competitive game. I think 8 points is a little too much. I'm going to take Miami of Ohio plus the 8 here. I think this will be a good game. People may laugh, be like, all these good games, you're talking about the MAC. I think it'll be a pretty good game. So I'm going to take Miami of Ohio plus the 8. All right, Boise State and UNLV for the Mountain West Championship game. Boise State, a 2.5-point favorite here. Who you got?
Yeah, I don't think anybody projected one of these teams to be in the Mountain West Championship game, and it ain't Boise State. So
correct.
Here comes UNLV out of nowhere. Won 9 games, probably hadn't won 9 games in the last 5 years put together. Had a tremendous season, but they're coming off a loss.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose State beat them in their last game. Don't know if anybody's kept track with Boise, but they have been playing great. I think they fired their coach, didn't they? And I don't think they've lost a game since.
They have not. Yes, correct.
And they're rolling, and they're beating people pretty bad. I think UNLV's coming in at a bad time. Now, the game's in Vegas.
Yep.
How many UNLV fans are there? I don't know. I don't know. I'm willing to bet Boise may have more there than UNLV. I don't know how they draw in Vegas. I just don't know. I know the basketball team did whenever they were really good. Was a big deal. I don't know about the football. I'm going to throw out that home field advantage or home advantage. I think Boise's going to beat them. I think they're playing better than anybody in the Mountain West right now. I need Mark on here to tell me what he thinks. But I'm going Boise State to beat them.
Boise State, I'm going to go UNLV. I think they're going to plus the 2.5 here. I'll take UNLV. I think this is a huge deal for them. If they could get this win, wow, right? I don't know. I think they're going to beat them. I think they'll play a really inspired game. You're right, though. Boise playing very well since firing the coach, so we'll see if that continues. All right, the game of the day, without any doubt.
If I was looking for a head coach, I'd be looking at the guy at UNLV.
He's failed at Missouri. That's going to be a bad thing on his resume. I don't know. I would be too, but you do look, he did not do well at Missouri. So we'll see what happens there. All right. SEC championship game, Georgia and Alabama, the game of the day. The Dogs, Georgia, a 6-point favorite here against the Crimson Tide. You've kind of said the last couple of weeks, you think Alabama might be able to beat them, but after that Auburn game, I mean, do they bounce back? What do you think? Who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I was all over Alabama until that game. And I cannot take them now. I can't. I watched that entire game. They got manhandled. They should have lost.
Yeah.
They got whipped. Now, okay, I'm going to take in consideration it was a rivalry game, and it is a game we talked about it. It's a lot like Oklahoma and Texas. You literally can throw out the records. You hear this all the time in rivalry games. It doesn't always ring true. This one, it does. It's a crazy game.
Yeah.
But Auburn isn't very good at all.
Yeah.
And I think Alabama is not good enough at quarterback to beat Georgia. And I don't know if they can stop Georgia.
I don't think they will. I just
don't. That was the biggest thing to me was Auburn ran the ball on them. With a quarterback that doesn't run the ball very well. I can't pick them now after watching what I watched. I just can't do it.
No.
I want them to win, but just to throw all this into chaos, but I just can't pick them. I got to go with Georgia. I think they cover as well.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to cover. I have not been on the Bama's going to beat Georgia train like you have in previous weeks. And look, I think the bottom line is, you look at this Alabama team, I think they've done a pretty good job to get to 11-1 and to get here. This is not a great team. I know after the bye, they got hot. They had a couple games that were much better than what we'd seen. End of the day, I just don't think they've got what it takes to beat Georgia this year. And I think it'll be a good game. I think they will play their butts off, but it's going to come down to talent in the trenches. And I think Georgia's just got too much. You look at this Alabama team, they've definitely gotten better in those areas, but boy, some of those problems started to show up, didn't they? They couldn't stop the run.
No,
they couldn't protect the quarterback. And it's just like, man, I just feel like Georgia is going to be able to get after them up front. So give me the Bulldogs. Listen, I'm with you. I hope Alabama wins. We'll talk about what that would mean if they did. but I think Georgia wins this game. Give me Georgia -6. All right, SMU and Tulane. This one at Tulane. So this is one of those games that they do play at the home stadiums, the top team. Tulane's a 3.5-point favorite. They have just been surviving. They did play a little bit better, I thought, last week. What do you think about Tulane SMU?
They're another team that's just been getting by, but they've been winning. And you know what? That just builds confidence. You keep winning, and you just kind of forget you didn't play really, really well, and you just keep rolling. SMU is playing better than Tulane coming into this game. They did not play in the regular season. SMU is really good. Tulane did beat San Antonio last week, which was a great win. San Antonio was really playing well. Tulane handled them fairly easily. Before that game, I would have taken SMU. Not going to. I'm going to take Tulane because they know how to win these kind of games.
I'm taking Tulane as well. I didn't think I would, but you just keep watching them, and it's like, yeah, they're pretty darn good. Now, I think SMU will give them a big challenge.
It'll be a hell of a game.
We've seen this team in person, and I think a lot of times you look at an SMU team over the last 4 or 5 years, and you get, they're all offense, and it's going to be a 45-35 type of game. They're a little different this year, aren't they? Their defense is pretty solid. It was down in Norman when we saw them, and it really has been all year. But I'm with you. I think Tulane at home, I think they'll find a way. I think they're going to get it done. So give me Tulane. Keep going here. The Sun Belt Championship, Appalachian State and Troy. Troy's a 6-point favorite in another game. And again, you got to keep an eye on these because this is another game played at home. It's in Troy, Alabama. What do you think about this one?
Well, I think the Sun Belt needs to place their game at a different time.
You do kind of feel sorry for SMU Tulane, which, by the way, I think will be a fantastic game.
I do too.
And this Sun Belt game between App and Troy, I think is going to be pretty decent too. Who's going to watch it with the Georgia-Alabama game going on?
I guess there just aren't enough hours in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
to spread these out.
You could try to play it on like a Thursday, but then you got a short week. And
you can't do that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Friday's too soon, really.
Really, it is.
Yeah. So I guess it's just like any other college football weekend. A lot of these games are on at the same time, so you've just got to switch around. Now this will be one that nobody will watch. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody's going to watch SMU and Tulane when you're up against Alabama and Georgia for that.
No.
Well,
no.
So luckily with YouTube TV, I have split screen, so I can kind of watch a little bit at the same time. But anyway. Appalachian State's been up and down, but they've come on lately. I believe they're the ones that beat James Madison and knocked them out of the undefeated ranks. So they're playing well. They're offensively, they're really good. And they're going up against a Troy team that defensively is really good. I'm going to go with the home field advantage here and go with Troy over Appalachian State in what should be a really good game.
Should be a good one. I think I may take Appalachian State plus the 6 in this one.
Yeah.
You know, they went on the road, were able to beat an undefeated James Madison a couple of weeks ago. I don't think going on the road will bother them. I think they'll keep it close. So give me App State plus 6 in this one. All right, the game of the day, without any doubt, right? Michigan and Iowa, the one we're all looking forward to here in the Big Ten championship game. Michigan, a 21.5-point favorite. The total, 34.5. The team total for Iowa, 0.5 I've seen in places, 3.5 I've seen in other places. That's saying they don't think Iowa is going to score in this game. Papa Dude, what's going to happen in the Big Ten championship?
Okay, something doesn't add up here. If Iowa's total is 3.5, then the over-under isn't right. Is it?
It's weird, yeah.
When you look at the line, is only 21.5.
Mm-hmm.
Which surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
I think here's the problem. Iowa's defense is really good. I mean, it is against Rutgers, Illinois, Minnesota, Nebraska, all powerhouse offenses. None of them can score on anybody.
No.
They have no offense.
No.
If some places you can get them at 3.5. Are you kidding?
Yep.
I'm taking Michigan all day long. I think they kill them. I just cannot see. I might go over. I think they score 40. At least. Because here's what happens. Iowa goes 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. What happens to their defense?
Yeah.
They wear down. And by
Yeah.
the way, Michigan's pretty damn good offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that line. Can you?
No. I think I'm all over Michigan in this game. I'm sorry. I don't see how. Like, Penn State beat Iowa 31-0.
Yes.
And so that's an easy cover if you look at that. You know, if Michigan's able to just do what Penn State did. I think the only way it doesn't, or Michigan doesn't cover, is if they're just asleep in this game. And I don't think they're going to be.
Or it was played outside in a snowstorm, and it's not played outside.
No, it's indoors.
So weather doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
Look at that. Ticket price, $34. And you're talking about, I love Iowa, but listen, if they win, would this not be the biggest upset in years?
It would be.
We're talking about a 10-2 team here, and we're saying that would be a huge upset.
Huge.
Because it would.
Yeah.
And you know, the being not ready factor, yeah, that would set in a little bit. I can see Michigan not quite being ready to play. And how would they? I mean, you know, they look at Iowa, they're watching film of them. The defensive players are saying, holy cow, this is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Because it is. The reality of it is it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think they're going to roll them.
Yeah, I think Michigan will stomp them. I think, you know, Samich was talking about this with me the other day. He said, I don't view anybody in the Big Ten as actually having an elite defense. He's like, Michigan, like, they build a resume, and Ohio State built these resumes, and said then, like, when they played a good offense, Ohio State and Michigan, the only two good offenses in the league, they gave up points. He's like, they're building these reputations on playing these teams that don't have any offense whatsoever. Right. He said, I think it's still very questionable that, like, Michigan's going to be able to go shut down somebody outside of their conference. So I thought that was interesting. Obviously, they don't have to worry about it here because they're playing perhaps the worst offense in the history of 10-2 football. I mean, I can't believe Iowa's 10-2. It's been a miracle season for them. Michigan's going to destroy them in this game.
Yeah,
it's going to.
I would just say this about that statement. Other than Georgia, you can say that about almost anybody's defense.
Pretty much.
Play a good offense.
Pretty much. That is college football right now.
Yeah, it is.
In a nutshell. There's not really an elite defense out there. Georgia might have one. We'll see. But, yeah, I mean, I think the Michigan defense is good. It's not any kind of all-timer. Yeah.
And the point is valid. I think Iowa's defense is really good too, but I don't know how good it is because they have not played anybody.
Curtis says Alabama's defense is elite. I don't know where you're getting that. I've watched them a lot. I think they're good.
Oh yeah, they're good.
But to say that Alabama has elite defense is a head scratcher to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's pretty damn good to hold Ohio State to 24. I think it's good. I think they're solid.
Good. It's good.
Ohio State's not like crazy.
No,
it's not like if you held them to that team 24 last year.
They're not like they've been.
No, but I still think they're good. Like, I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, Michigan's defense is average." No, it's good. It's really good. But I didn't watch it and go, "Well, they are a shutdown, lock you down type of team," you know. But like you just said, there's really not, right?
No,
there's just not that team.
You face a good offense,
yeah,
that can throw the ball, has a good quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's hard to stop those college offenses today.
Yep.
Got to spread the field. You got to tackle one-on-one. You got to have speed. You got to stretch yourself.
Yes.
You make a mistake, boom, they're gone.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way it is.
Yep. Dennis asked, well, could Michigan get to that total alone? I totally think Michigan will get 35 points in this game.
I do too. I would bet. I wouldn't have any problem betting the line.
Yeah.
And bet a bunch on it and the over.
Yep, for sure. I would go Michigan. I think, well, we'll get it. Well, I don't want to get to the playoff yet because we're going to get into that just a second. But I want to talk about
I
Michigan.
love Iowa in this game. I mean, I love Iowa, not in this game.
Yeah.
I respect what they do, but I heard a guy talking about it when this realignment comes up or whatever, when the new teams come to the Big Ten, their little joyride is over.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to have this peachy schedule.
We went through their schedule, though, the other day.
It isn't too bad.
It's not that bad. So, all right, last one, the ACC championship game. Our buddy Dennis sitting here, very excited for this one. Louisville and Florida State. Florida State, a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Boy, it's a huge game for the playoff implications. Can Louisville pull the mild upset here, Papa Dude?
If the truth was known, I would say the playoff committee is rooting their ass off for Louisville, so they don't have to take Florida State.
Agree.
And it's, totally unfair, but it's kind of the facts.
It is.
Florida State is not the team they were.
Yeah, I mean, I think that game last week was like, oh boy, they're not very good.
No. Yeah. And you can say that about Oregon if they lost their quarterback, Washington if they lost their anybody.
A lot of
you
pretty
lose
much.
Your quarterback, you're not the same.
Yep.
But guess what? That's not Florida State's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And if they win this game, you have to take them. You have to. You can't punish the players and the coaches because their quarterback got hurt.
Yep.
You just can't. And this is the flaw of this 4-team stupid-ass playoff system that we've had so long.
Yep.
If you had 8 or 12, which they're going to next year, I think it's next year, then you take them, and you don't have a 4-team playoff where a Florida State team is probably going to go up against a Georgia team and get slaughtered.
Yep.
And again, everybody, it's just, I don't know. So, I can't take Louisville. I'm sorry, Dennis. I can't. Florida State's going to figure out a way to win this game. I just think they are.
I think they're going to win it. I think Florida State's going to win it. I think it's going to be ugly. I think we're going to go, oh my God, we got to watch Florida State and Georgia. That's not going to be that fun.
Either one.
Well, yeah, we'll get it what Georgia loses, but and again, I seriously hate talking about Florida State this way.
Oh, I did too.
I still don't think they would beat a Georgia, but when they had Travis healthy, it's like, this is a pretty good team. I mean, this team deserves, I know they're in a weak conference, but they look pretty good. They deserve to be there. And now it's just like, oh, they're not very good. And I don't know. I hate to say it, but I'm with you. I don't know that Louisville thinks they can go win the game. And I think that's what it boils down to. I think they're good enough.
Well,
I just don't know that they think they're going to go do it.
Right. And they're coming off a loss to their rival who wasn't very good. How much does that psychologically take out of you? I think it does. I'm a firm believer in that. And had they beat Kentucky, I might be singing a different tune, but they did.
Yeah.
And I just think Florida State has the tradition, has the blue blood in them. They'll figure out a way to win the game. The key will be, can Florida State shut Louisville down? Because they're not going to score a lot of points. Florida State's not. So can they defend them? That's the key.
Yep. That is the key. And I think they can good enough to make it a 4-quarter game. I just think they find a way. They're going to win late. They're going to find a way to win. And it's going to be kind of a crusher for Louisville, and Florida State's going to get in. But I hate to say it again, I don't have anything against Florida State, but man, I kind of hope Louisville beats them just so we don't have to, have them in there.
Louisville's had a fantastic season.
Yep.
A fantastic year. But I don't think they're the second best team in the ACC right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have been over the course of the year. And I have no knock on them. They've exceeded anything I thought they would do. They've had a great season. But
so this is what Dennis says, that Louisville hasn't been afraid of Florida State since we beat them a few year ago when they were really bad. Here's the deal. it's not so much that Louisville is afraid of Florida State, in my opinion. It's the fact that Louisville is never in this situation where they could go win a massive ACC title game.
Yeah.
If they can, I mean, it's different. It's different for a program that's just not there very often versus one that is. And my fear is they won't fully go in there with that expectation of we are going to win this game, period. Yeah. Right. I just think they'll be a little bit unsure of themselves. And I think that's not a knock on really Louisville. It's a knock on just the fact they haven't been there.
Right.
So.
And I think the other aspect of so much in college football goes in the emotion of the teams.
Right.
Florida State is going to rally. They're going to rally around this.
Yep.
And sometimes when you got your backs to the wall like they do, other guys step up and make plays. Yep. And we see this a lot. They have everything in the world to play for.
Mm-hmm.
And Louisville does too. They don't win the ACC championship very often, but they ain't going nowhere except to a good bowl game.
Yep.
And the other thing is, again, I keep pointing to this, that wasn't just any old team they lost to last week. That took a lot out of them.
Yep.
And they got to get back up and play a bunch of rabid dogs. Yep. And that's what Florida State's going to be. And I just don't think they'll beat them in the end. I don't.
Yep. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, who's a better team, Florida State or Kentucky?
Florida State, yeah.
And Louisville just lost on their home field to a team that's worse than Florida State. So it's hard to be that confident, you know? And I get one game to the next. You can't compare scores. You can't do this. You can't do that. I get it. I understand it. All of it. I totally understand. But still, Louisville, that was a bad loss. And I just don't think they're ready to do this. But we'll see. Florida State without their quarterback, not great. Without any doubt.
They're very vulnerable.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to playoff scenarios. Okay. So I've got if you look over on the left here, that is the college football playoff ranking. We're still in a 14 playoff this year. Next year, things will change. We'll have different discussions. However, let's talk about what could happen with this because I think things could get interesting. So scenario one, we're going to just assume Michigan is winning in all these scenarios. Okay.
Of the big games, that's the most sure.
So we're assuming Michigan wins, and we're also going to assume whoever wins Washington, Oregon is in. So those two, we're not approaching what happens if that isn't the case, because that's, to me, that's 99.9% sure. All right. Let's say Georgia goes ahead and wins, but then Florida State loses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the assumption would be Georgia, Michigan, winner of Washington, Oregon, Florida State loses. Ohio State or Texas, who gets the fourth spot? Ohio State right now is ranked ahead of Texas. Texas does have the extra game, the Big 12 championship game. If they were to win, would they jump over Ohio State for that 4 seed, or would Ohio State get the 4?
Well, I hate Texas, so I'm biased. But if I didn't hate Texas, I would still make a huge claim for Ohio State.
Okay.
And I've had ever since they lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
If Michigan is number 2, and a lot of people think they're number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do.
Mm-hmm.
If they're that damn good, and Ohio State played them to within 6 on their home field and had a chance to beat them, how can you punish them that much?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. Again, I'm not an Ohio State fan at all. I hate them, but I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them to have done this and had to go to Michigan, played well, and lost a close game. And they're ranked 6.
Mm-hmm.
They, because of the rules in the Big Ten and because of what division they're in, they cannot play in the conference championship game.
Yeah.
They're not on the other side. Wouldn't it be nice to have Michigan and Ohio State in the conference championship game like it should be?
Yeah.
But they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to reward Texas, who has one good win, period. They beat Alabama. They play they have not beat anybody else. The only other team on their schedule that's very good is Oklahoma, and Oklahoma beat them.
Yep.
I don't think they jump Ohio State, not in my book.
Okay, so you think Ohio State would get in under that scenario?
I don't know. That's what I would do. But let's say Texas beat Oklahoma State 50-0. I think they probably will take them and punish Ohio State for not being in the championship game when there isn't a damn thing they can do about it.
Yeah. The bad thing for Ohio State is they're the second best team in the conference, and they're not in the game because of the way it's set up in the Big Ten.
That's
so that
not
is
their fault.
Yeah, that is a thing. I think Texas will jump them. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I think into the day.
Close. Okay, I think if it's close, they won't.
Okay, that's probably if they play an ugly game and win by 3 or 7, maybe not. I think if they win by what we think they're going, I think if they cover the spread, let's play the spread. Yeah. The spread's 15.5. If Texas wins by let's say 17 or more, I think Texas is going to jump them, and I think Texas is going to be the 4th seed.
Just because they beat an Alabama team in the second week of the season.
I just feel like they're still, and again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just feel like they will get there. I just feel like they're not going to leave a conference champion out.
How about throwing this in there too? How about just having new blood in the 14 playoff?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
It's kind of old news to have Ohio State in there again.
That could be the case. So yeah, I think Texas gets in. You think Ohio State gets in? That's going to be a huge debate.
No, I didn't say that. I said I think Ohio State should get in.
Well, I'm saying what will happen, not what you think.
If Texas struggles, Ohio State gets in. If Texas is impressive and wins the way they're supposed to, I think they'll jump them.
Okay. All right. Now, scenario number 2, Alabama beats Georgia. Okay. So Alabama beats Georgia. Michigan wins, obviously. Pac-12 winner is in. Florida State wins. So then we're assuming it would be Michigan number 1, Pac-12 winner number 2, Florida State 3. Who is 4 between Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama?
Do we even have to discuss this?
Do you think it's Alabama?
Absolutely, 100%. Okay. There ain't no way.
Even though Texas beat them head-to-head, they would have the same record. You think they're taking Alabama?
No, we'll throw that scenario out because that happened way back in week 2. But if Texas gets in, it'll be because they beat Alabama in week 2. So, no, Alabama is in, and guess what? They should be.
So in that scenario,
Georgia, I think they should be in.
So in that scenario, I think Ohio State has 0 chance.
No chance.
It will be between Texas, Alabama, Georgia. I'm with you. I think they'll go, Alabama just beat Georgia, so they're out. Yeah. And it's going to be between Texas and Alabama. They have kept Alabama below Texas this whole time.
Yeah.
I think it would be really interesting if Alabama jumped them in the last poll. I think Texas would be.
Okay. How about this?
They would throw a fit.
How about this? Georgia's won 28 in a row?
Yeah, I know, and they would be out.
And they're the 2-time defending national champion. Why wouldn't they be the 4th one?
I feel like they have a strong case, but I don't think they would be.
There's no way they're going to let them in there.
No, I don't think they're leaving the SEC out. And so I think Alabama's going to get in under that scenario.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, Texas, but I'll be shocked if you get in over an Alabama team that beats the 2-time national champion, defending national champion that's won 28 in a row.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's go Michigan, Pac-12 winner, Florida State, and then probably Alabama would be the 4th team. All right.
That would be
one more. To me, that is the biggest nightmare scenario out there.
Yeah.
If that happens, this would be the second biggest, and I don't think it's near as bad.
Okay.
Alabama beats Georgia, and Florida State also loses. So then it opens up another spot. So then you'd have, assuming Michigan number 1, Pac-12 winner number 2. Who's 3 and 4 in that scenario?
Oh, that would be fascinating to see what these dopes would do.
To me,
You got
to
a one.
me,
Okay, Florida
well,
State is out for sure.
Florida State 100% out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then it would be between Alabama, right? Georgia,
Yep.
Ohio State,
Yep.
Texas,
Yep. That's it.
and Washington.
Well,
Washington, scratch
out.
them. They're out.
They're totally out.
Who cares about them?
Yep.
Yeah. They only went 12-0.
Right.
But goodbye.
They're not going to make it.
Not
They have
even
to win.
consider them. They would
No.
not even consider them.
No chance. No.
Washington, Florida State, goodbye.
Yep.
Ohio, boy, I tell you what, you got 3 blue bloods here to pick from.
To me, it would be between. I don't think Ohio State's getting in that scenario. To me, I think it's Texas, Alabama, or Georgia. Pick 2 of the 3.
Yeah, that would. Oh man, that would be interesting.
To me,
Alabama's definitely in. If they
I think it's Texas and Alabama.
You think they take Texas over the defending 2-time national champion, winner of 28 games in a row, just because they beat Alabama in week 2?
I think it would be. Yep.
I think you're probably right. If they're impressive in the Big 12 championship game.
Yep. I mean,
Which
let's face it. If Alabama beats Georgia, the chaos is there.
It's going to start.
And they really need Florida State to lose if that happens. Because then you got 2 slots instead of 1. If it's 1, that's even worse. That is going to be crazy.
And again, this shouldn't even be discussed. They should have 12-team playoff. I think 16 would be fantastic. I'd be satisfied with 8.
Right.
Because if you're fighting over the 8th spot, you're probably not good enough to be in there anyway.
Well, I mean, if there's 12, let's say, and Oklahoma sitting right there on the border, what am I going to say? That they left us out. I mean, we lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State. I have no argument. But if we're sitting up there, say we're flip-flopped and we're up there 11-1 where Texas is, well, now you're trying to get into that 4th spot. Yeah. Well, that's a whole different conversation.
Whole different,
Yeah. So
of the teams that are ranked in the that we're talking about, okay, let's go another way. These 8 teams we're talking about. Who of those 8? We'll throw out Florida State because they're not what they were.
Yeah.
Who of those 8 would Texas beat?
Well, Alabama, you'd have to say.
They ain't going to beat them now.
You'd still have to say beat them.
No, but that was week 2. Could they beat Washington? Maybe.
Yeah, I think they could beat Washington. I think, like I said, Florida State. Yeah, I think would be 3. I think they would be 2 or 3 of them. I think Texas Ohio State would be a great game.
It would.
Yep.
But let's watch it in a bowl game. Forget it.
No, and yeah.
I just don't think Texas is top 4.
So next week, what we'll do, once we know the actual official, here's the final 12. We'll look at what would that be like if they expanded to 12 this year. What would it look like?
It'd be awesome.
And
I'm assuming if you go to 12, the top 4 get a bye.
Right. Correct. Yeah. 5 versus 12, 6 through 11, and so on.
You'd have Oregon and Oklahoma. If you went
well, again, let's wait. No, let's wait until it's finalized because I don't want to talk about stuff that isn't official.
But it would be fascinating. It would be great.
Yep. And I'm with JL. I think it was Curtis was saying, "Oh, this Alabama defense is elite." I don't get the love for this Alabama team.
I just don't think Texas is that good.
I don't think Alabama is either, and I think it's pretty obvious because Texas went over there and just murdered them. So at Alabama,
I just don't think. I don't think you get past the first 6, and number 4, Florida State, healthy Florida State.
Yeah,
I think those 6 are pretty legit.
I would agree. I think the Texas team and the Texas, Alabama, Missouri, they probably all are in that second
tier. They are. Penn State's a fraud. They shouldn't be 10th.
I don't know. We'll see. You know what? I think Saturday is going to answer the Alabama question one way or the other. Yeah. if they're good enough to go up
you-
there, if they're good enough to beat them or play them close, so this I was wrong, right? They're really good.
Yeah.
So
After I watched them against Auburn, my mind has been changed a
see,
lot.
okay, the Auburn thing was what it was. It wasn't good, right?
No.
However, it's one game, and through a season, you're going to have games like this. My problem with Alabama is I've seen them 4 times almost lose to teams that they never lose to.
Yeah.
One of them being Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas could have beaten Alabama easily. Like, they were in the game. They had a great chance. Arkansas shut them down. I mean, in the second half, Alabama didn't score. So it's like, yeah, they're not that good. And then the other, the South Florida game.
Yeah, but
Okay, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, quarterbacks and this and this and this. It's Alabama versus South Florida.
I know.
They should be able to
you
turn
guys
around.
convinced me. Texas had kicked the shit out of them. You got me.
Well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, this team has shown 4 or 5 times they aren't that good.
Right. But can we say the same thing about Georgia? They only beat Georgia Tech by 8 points. They've had some games where they haven't.
Name a game you thought, Georgia may lose this game.
Well, Missouri had them in trouble.
Okay, there's one. I'll give you that one. Who else?
Well, I mean, the others have just been too close, you know?
But have you ever thought they were losing other
I
than
didn't
once?
think they were going to lose.
All year, you thought they might lose once.
Yeah.
Alabama multiple times, including having to convert a 4th and 31 at Auburn. I mean, I've thought Alabama was beat. Now, again, you got to give them credit. They won the games, and that is impressive. But
I think Auburn lost the game more than Alabama won the game.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Auburn lost the game.
I agree.
They gave the game to them.
You still have to go make a 4th and 31. Milroe made a beautiful pass.
He did.
It wasn't the guy was open, but it's not like he was standing wide open with nobody around him, you know.
Yep.
I don't know. And hell, Saturday I could look really dumb, but I just don't think Alabama's that good. I just don't. Let me back up. For Alabama standards, they're not what they normally are.
Right.
That's still really good. I'm not saying this is a bad team. I'm saying
I don't want to play them.
No, I think Alabama would beat Oklahoma. I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm just saying for what they normally are, I don't think they're at that level.
And for the record, I'm pretty relieved we ain't playing Texas this weekend either.
Well, me too. Same. All right. Let's move on to a couple other subjects I wanted to get to.
Okay.
I really wanted to touch on Arkansas's offensive coordinator hire, Bobby Petrino. Yes, that's right. Bobby Petrino is going back to Arkansas as the offensive coordinator. I will say this, it has ignited the fan base. They are excited about it. I got pictures from 2 of my friends that were at the Arkansas Duke game last night. Did I get pictures of the basketball court? No. Pictures of the boxes. They were sitting right below Pittman and Bobby Petrino. So Petrino back to Arkansas. What are your thoughts on this one?
God. Okay, your friends probably don't fall in this category. This is the land of the conservatives, where family values and morality is what we're all about.
Right.
Where
yes.
you have a governor that's all it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's the middle of the country. This is middle America. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where we're morally right and,
right.
Everything else is wrong and all this. So it pertains to everything but football. In football, you can do whatever you want. We got to have you. We got to hire you. Okay, this is a guy who openly cheated on his wife. The university knew it. The university told him to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And he continued to do it because he's above the law. I don't know. That sounds like somebody else. But anyway, he's above the law. He gets caught on a motorcycle in the Ozark Mountains, nearly kills himself. And And the fan base down there goes, we can't fire this guy. He's went 21-5 the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Come on. They had to fire him.
Yeah.
And now, what's it been, 10, 12 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what has Bobby Petrino done in the 10 to 12 years? That's great.
Yeah,
As a coach.
not much.
Not much.
No.
What did he do at Texas A&M as the offensive coordinator this year? Not much.
Not much. I would say his best accomplishment is something that people that are listening to this have no clue about. And he coached Missouri State, the FCS school, Missouri State, and their perennial just 5-6 team.
Disasters.
And he actually made them really good.
Yeah. There's no doubt the man can coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is an asshole. You ask anyone who's ever been around Bobby Petrino, they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So that's what you've hired, Arkansas.
So it's a couple of interesting things. Putting aside what you just said, which you can't.
No, you can't.
I'm not saying, hey, you put that aside. I'm saying just let's talk about football. I do think it's a good hire as far as,
Well, yes.
But as the head coach, man, that's going to get rough because Bobby Petrino is 10 times more liked than Sam Pittman in Arkansas.
Okay. If Sam Pittman is 100% behind this, I have lost all respect for him. Because if he's that stupid, what are they going to do when they start out 1-4?
Yeah.
Goodbye, Sammy boy. Bobby, the job's yours. Now, he may be wiser than we think, and he might think, okay, well, let's get him in here. They fire me. I get that $15 million buyout, and I ride off into the sunset. Now, he may be thinking that, too.
Most people that I talk to who are just fans of Arkansas believe Petrino's going to be the head coach within a couple of years.
There's no question.
Yeah. So
Pittman, but if Pittman quits, he can't get that buyout, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
He doesn't get the buyout if he just resigns.
Right.
They have to fire him.
Correct.
You talk about a guy that's between a rock and a hard spot.
Tell me about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Here you go. You got the savior has come back. He's come back to the flock.
Yeah.
Come back to the hogs.
The
savior. And he's looking over your shoulder, and he's an asshole anyway. Total jerk.
Yeah.
Arkansas fans, he is a jerk. You ask anybody who's ever been around him. And everywhere he's been, they can't stand him. The only place that like him is you guys.
That's not really true. He's the fans like his success for sure.
Right. But they don't have to deal with him.
Correct. Yeah. There's nobody within the industry.
Missouri State people
couldn't
stand him.
They hated him. Yeah. Yes.
He's an arrogant jerk. And if you think he took this job
to
be the offensive coordinator, you got your head up your ass because he didn't.
Well, I do think he needed a job. And what happened was, in my opinion, I think they kind of had this plan of like, all right, we're gonna keep Pittman. People are gonna be livid. So what can we do? Well, let's bring in the guy that everybody still thinks is a hero around there, and they'll be excited again. And you know what? It's worked. A lot of them are
okay.
I mean, I've gotten texts from people that are like, all right, I guess I'm back on now. You say whatever you want about him. Most people in Arkansas are over the moon about this.
Well, that just kind of shows you the intelligence of most people in Arkansas.
No, I'm not going to go there. It tells you the desperation that program has.
To be an offensive coordinator and be successful, what you got to have?
We got a quarterback.
Well, I don't think they do.
Well,
so he's going to have to go get one.
The bottom line is you have no idea who the quarterback's going to be the way college football is, right?
So
it could
they're going to have to get one in the portal, right?
Yep. Have
so they're banking their hopes that because 95-year-old Bobby Petrino, what is he now? 70?
He's got to be getting up there.
Ever.
He's coached a lot of places. Yep, for a long time.
I wonder why he's been in so many places. Oh, yeah, I know. Well, anyway, he's going to go into the homes of these kids who have no idea who he is
Yeah.
and going to just pluck somebody out. Maybe he will. But
I-
to be a great offensive coordinator, you have to have players.
I would be shocked if the offense isn't a lot better.
Well, it'll be better.
Yeah.
It will. But you've I don't ever want to hear about you being conservative. You're morally, you got all these family values. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So KJ Jefferson is probably going to hit the portal, is what I've heard.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So there's the one quarterback they had who I didn't know if he was coming back or not. As far as I know, he has a year, but he could leave.
Did he hit the portal? How can he hit the portal? They can't do that yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, people are in the portal.
Yeah, but officially, it's not.
Yeah, but we'll see if that happens. I don't know. To me, Arkansas needs a fresh start at quarterback anyway.
I think so.
So
I don't think he would have been in Bobby Petrino's plans anyway.
Probably not, and that's probably why.
I will say this: if Jefferson stayed and he was any good, Bobby Petrino would make him better.
100%.
Okay, as far as being a wise move football wise, yes, it's good.
I just feel like they never got over the fact that happened. Talking about Arkansas fans, they never got over it. They never got over it. And now he's back, and you can tell they never got over it because honestly, if Bobby Petrino got hired at Oklahoma, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
They wouldn't hire him.
That's not even what I'm talking about. Forget that shit. I'm talking about as a football coach. If they hired him,
yeah,
I'd be like, okay, that's not bad. That's not like, this wouldn't galvanize me as a fan of being like, oh, this is great.
No way. No.
Be like, okay, it's good. It's a good hire, but
no.
But you can tell they never got over it.
They didn't think he should be fired for what he did.
Right.
Okay. Let's not forget the university knew this was going on.
Right.
And they told him to stop it.
That's what I think they never understood fully. It wasn't so much what he was doing. It was the fact that he was doing it and they kept telling him to stop and telling him to stop, and he never did. And it goes back to what you said. The rules don't apply to this guy. That's how he operates.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And do you want that? No.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, they knew. And he said, okay, all right, I will. Well, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they had no choice. They had to let him go.
Yep.
And, he did a great job there.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. And you know why? He had a tremendous quarterback.
Yep.
Ryan Malvin was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't his name. What was his name?
Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett. Ryan Mallett.
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah.
He was great.
He had another kid that was really good, and I cannot think of his name.
Did
Tyler.
He have that great running back? Was McFadden there?
No, McFadden wasn't his.
Okay.
No. He had those receivers that were so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They had skill people.
Yeah.
And they were good.
All right, let's go back. Let's go on to another offensive coordinator hire. Curtis Manilow brings up that he thought he has it under a very close source that Sean Lewis was almost the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. It didn't end up happening. He goes to San Diego State, but have to say I don't really believe those rumors, Curtis, because within about an hour, Oklahoma hired Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley, co-offensive coordinators. Seth Luttrell, once Jeff Lebby left for once Jeff Lebby left for Mississippi State, it was pretty much a done deal. Seth Luttrell was going to be the offensive coordinator, and they promoted Joe John Finley. They think he's kind of a rising star in the game. So to give him a raise, they gave him that co-offensive coordinator job. What did you think of the hires by Oklahoma? Less controversial for sure.
Yeah. highly predictable what they did.
Yeah.
The word is being preached around down there is to keep continuity,
Mm-hmm.
keep it a good thing going. And I think they wanted to keep it within, um, to keep the staff together. I
Yep.
think they like where they're at. Uh, I think they didn't want to lose Finley. I think him and Levy are best buddies, and I think they thought Levy might talk him into going to Mississippi State with him.
That's well, these OU fans are kind of going crazy over, oh no, it's co-offensive coordinators. All that really is hey, Joe John's going to Mississippi State unless we give him a raise. That's all that amounted to. Yeah.
Luttrell's the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Luttrell's track record, he's been around a lot of good people, and he was a pretty good, successful coach at North Texas, which isn't very good. I think he took them to bowl games like 5 out of 7 years. I don't think that's ever happened. They fired him. It was stupid. You snapped him up as an advisor or whatever they call it this year, analyst, and he was a natural to step into that role. I don't think they ever considered anybody else seriously. I really don't. I just don't think they wanted to upset what they've got going. They've got a great recruiting class coming. They're trying to hold that staff together, and I think they just did it to. And he's familiar with whatever they're doing. He knows the players. Supposedly, he has a great relationship with Jackson Arnold, the 5-star quarterback. They'll probably take over next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the hire. I think it's good. I got to trust they know what they're doing.
Well, as far as the Sean Lewis thing goes, and why I can't. I mean, I can't sit here and say if that was true or false. But
no, I don't know either.
Based on all the connection that I have with the people that I follow and get their insider stuff, there was just never any mention of that. Again, maybe they didn't know, but they were also the people that broke the news that they hired the new offensive coordinator that they did. I don't know. I would be surprised, especially how they've kind of went about doing this. So I don't know. Maybe he was a candidate. Maybe he would have went. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
I just think
I'd be surprised
if they were looking outside the program at all. They wouldn't have hired these people this quick.
That's just it. Levy was gone, and then the next day they had their new guy. So
yeah, so to me,
as far as Luttrell, I honestly, I could not be more excited. I think he is fantastic, and I think Oklahoma just upgraded in a massive way.
I kind of think they knew this was going to happen. I think Levy knew he was gone.
I'll say this: when the Oklahoma head coach job came open, Seth Luttrell was still at North Texas, and I kind of thought they need to kind of look at him.
Yeah,
he's a former OU player. He did a very good job in North Texas. Insanity how they fired him. Just craziness that they fired him.
Got to be more to it than what was ever made official.
He has coached everywhere. He's been everywhere. He's coached under so many different guys. I think he's going to do a great job. I think they made a big upgrade there.
I do too.
And look,
I do too.
I think a lot of OU fans are like, "Oh my God, they just settled." I don't think that's it at all.
I don't either.
I think it was a situation where they had a guy on staff that was really, really good, and they could just promote him. He's worked there as an analyst this year after he got fired at North Texas. I think he's going to work out really well. So I think they did a good job.
By some of the things that Venables said after the final game about Levy, I think they knew he was gone.
McCurtis says, as an Ole Miss fan, I'm stoked Levy is back at Mississippi State.
Yeah. Curtis,
listen, I don't want to sit here and throw hate on the guy.
No, and I don't either.
I think he did a pretty decent job.
He did.
I don't think he's very. I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to be great at Mississippi State. Let's put it that way.
I don't either. I'll say this about him: he has no personality.
No, he doesn't. All right, switching gears. Have you researched the Corey Perry situation?
Yeah, but I can't find anything definitive on it.
Well, there isn't anything definitive.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Just speculate?
Yes, because they won't tell us.
That is really weird that they won't. Now, okay, so I'm getting two things here. One, alcohol related.
Okay.
I got that with I don't know what, but anyway, then supposedly messing around with Bernard's mother.
Correct.
But the GM came out and said it had nothing to do with any family members of anyone else, and he was vehement about that.
Right.
So if it did, he's the biggest liar there is, right?
I mean, the story came out about the mom Monday. And so Magic and Samich and we're the hockey guys here, and we are just having a field day. We're like,
By the way, I did hear something about that once I got to reading it.
I was like, I don't know if it's true or not, but can we please just make it true? Can it please be true? I mean, that would be so good.
Well, okay. What's wrong with it? I mean, Arkansas fans, weigh in on this. What's wrong?
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. Sleep with whoever you want to. You're a good player.
So my point of this was, why would that get you like kicked off the team?
Exactly.
But I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know.
I mean, you got just banished. He's
So-
just done.
I think I don't know. It's so weird. Like, it's such a weird situation. It's just like he's like, yeah, it's not that. People are so sick. What's going on? But it's like, hey, why don't you tell us what it is? And that way we
Exactly.
don't have to speculate anymore. You're causing the problem here. I mean, it is 2023. If you don't tell people, they're gonna dig, and in some cases, they're gonna make shit up. So you got to tell us what happened. And
I think it's 2023. You come out and you say, yeah, I slept with her and she's really good. I don't think anybody would care.
yeah, Sylvain says they're the same age, but Bernard's like,
What's
18,
wrong with
19
it
years
then,
old.
Sylvain? They're the same age. Come on, two consenting adults. I see nothing wrong with it.
And I think the funniest part of it is they signed Corey Perry to be like an example for Connor and the young kids.
To kind of guide him. That's right. To get him through this, to be his mentor, not his dad.
I think Corey got confused. We want him to be a father figure,
Okay, so
not your actual father.
Where's the alcohol thing coming in?
You got me. I haven't heard that one.
Well, yeah, I read that today. The rumor there's some alcohol-related incident with an employee or something.
Yeah. I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about that.
Wouldn't the Blackhawks be better off to just come out and tell us?
Yes, that's what they've handled.
Like you said, it's 2023. We can handle it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I don't know, but I love the story. It's great. That most I've been interested in the Blackhawks in a long time, actually. All right.
Weird, just weird.
Let's rapid fire these NFL games. I'm talking 30
I
seconds.
haven't even looked at them, so let's do it.
All right, let's. And then we'll talk more about Connor Bedard. Yeah, I mean, I think if Connor's okay with it, that shouldn't be a problem at all. I don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Just as we keep going on this, I wasn't watching that night, but I did hear that they took like in the middle of a game.
Oh, it wasn't before the game?
Yes.
It wasn't before the game?
No, in the middle of the game, they
were
took him
playing
out.
And they took him off the.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Now, come on. It has to be something bad. Doesn't it?
Gabe says maybe Connor doesn't want the people to know.
Well, I'm thinking a lot of things there, Gabe. You may be right. It has to be something really bad, doesn't it?
Yeah. To me, like I want the mom thing to be true, but it's got to be something else.
It has to be something bad.
It has to be something where it's almost illegal. Like
yeah, definitely. The other thing is too, everywhere the guy's been, everybody just raves about his character and
Well,
everything.
and that's the other thing. Like, that's not a guy you would think
No.
would have this coming out about him. And he has been in it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So
Tampa,
yeah,
they signed him, and I think it was there where the coach said, we may have to make him a captain. It
yeah.
may not have been Tampa, but it was somewhere where they were good.
All right, we're Googling it. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is all. Now listen, this is all the Blackhawks' fault, because if you just tell me, I wouldn't have to Google who this person is. But now I do. Let's see.
It has to be really bad. It has to.
Yeah, she's not
Or
bad.
they're afraid to get sued or something.
I could see it. I could see it. Okay, now that I've seen her, I think that's what happened. Yep. Okay, let's do these.
Again, I see nothing wrong with this. I mean, I don't to be just totally dismissed and cut, and they cleared waivers, right?
Did he clear waivers? I haven't seen that.
I don't think anybody picked him up.
Damn.
He never does anything wrong ever.
It can't be.
Sorry,
it
I
can't be
never
just
did
that.
that.
It can't be, because if it was just that, he wouldn't clear waivers. Somebody would pick him up.
That's what I think.
That's
but
weird.
he cleared waivers, right? I think I read that.
Huh. Wow.
Maybe some of the hockey fans know more than I do. I just researched it a while ago, but I'm pretty sure I read that no one even wants him.
Well, when I heard about it, I thought, man, the Blues ought to pick him up. He's pretty good.
We don't have any young players that he could be messing around with. Or, who would care?
Well, we'd let him. That's
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, we got to go on. All right. Okay, rapid fire. Seahawks at the Cowboys.
We already covered that.
9-point favorites. Who
you like the Seahawks to not win, but beat the spread, and I like the Cowboys to cover.
Yep, Seahawks to cover, Cowboys to cover. All right, Colts are a 1-point favorite at the Titans.
All right, here we go with these wonderful games. Indy is 6-5. Can you believe that?
Nope.
Tennessee is 4-7. Indy's favored by 1 point. I'm picking Tennessee.
Give me Tennessee. Now this is a matchup made in heaven. The Chargers are at the Patriots. Somehow Staley still has a job. Chargers are 5.5-point favorites here against the Patriots.
How can the Chargers be 5.5-point favorites? Well, I guess you could against the Patriots. They're the second worst team in football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the Chargers can get up and play anybody. But who's New England scored 7 last week?
Well, nobody even know. Like, New England's probably going to start Zappy at quarterback. I think.
I got to go with the Chargers, but I wouldn't bet a penny. No,
Chargers,
the spread's too much. Spread's
Give me the Chargers. Lions 4.5-point favorites on the road against the Saints. Lions coming off an awful loss.
Just awful.
Yeah.
The Saints aren't any good. Will they bounce back and play better? The Lions, 4.5. God, I don't know if they cover that. Do you?
I think I'm going to take the Detroit. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they'll bounce back. Saints aren't very good. I'll take Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, here's another good one.
Yeah, another great matchup of two elite offenses. The Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the Jets.
This is the first place team in the NFC South, right?
That's
here.
right.
Atlanta Falcons, 5-6.
Yep.
1-4 on the road. The Jets are going to play their butts off. They always do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Jets.
All right, we'll take the Jets together. How about that? All right, the Cardinals are 2-10. They are on the road taking on the Steelers at 7-4. Steelers are 5.5-point favorites here.
I don't know how they do it. The Steelers.
I
don't know how they're 7-4.
For some reason, I always seem to be watching the Steelers, not even on purpose. Like, it's just like, okay, Steelers are on. They are horrible in their 7-4. They are really bad, but they're 7-4. They win like the weirdest games.
They do. Their schedule's not tough either.
No.
They're going to win this one.
Yeah.
Cardinals, they're worse. 5.5. Do they cover that? Do they ever cover? I'm going to
not
go
sure.
Cardinals plus 5.5. Steelers win 17-13.
I could see it. I'm going to take Cardinals plus 5.5. I'm with you on that one. Okay, here are the Dolphins, probably a decent team against the Commanders.
Not a decent team.
Yikes. Miami's a 9.5-point favorite. What do you think?
That's a lot of points. Golly, they had a tough schedule early, but they've been playing some dogs here lately. 9.5 on the road. That's too many, but they're going to win. I guess I'll go Washington plus 9.5. I don't know how.
I'll take Miami. I just can't back Washington here. All right, now every once in a while we get a good one, and I think this is that. The Broncos and the Texans. It's also a huge game. Two teams that are playing well. They're both 6-5. Houston's a 3.5-point favorite here at home against the Broncos. Can this improbable run for the Broncos continue?
They played really good last week.
They did.
They
did.
They hammered them.
They look, and again, I think people sometimes when we complain about the NFL think that, oh, they're just not scoring. That's not really it. The Broncos look like a well-coached football team.
They do.
Finally, after looking like a horrible, they're pretty solid.
They are. And Houston didn't play real well, coming off a loss, had to shake their confidence a little. Give me the Broncos.
I'll take the Broncos plus 3.5.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if they'll win. I think it'll be a close game. I still don't think Denver, quote unquote, arrived or they're there or anything like that. But they definitely, you watch them, and it's like, okay, they're watchable again. So
well, they get this one. They really got a leg up to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a good shot. I think the winner of this game is in real good position. All right, now let's go back to the Drek and the Panthers and the Buccaneers. This one's in Tampa. Panthers fired their coach. They were the first to do it. Buccaneers are 5-point favorites here with a win and an Atlanta loss. The Buccaneers and Atlanta will be tied at 5-7.
Well, the Panthers going to fire their coach every year.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, the Panthers have to be the worst run organization.
Yeah. Surely God. Tampa wins this game. Surely.
I think Tampa wins. Yeah,
I do too. Mayfield's he's not playing that bad.
No,
they just can't. They're not any good. So I think they get this one. By the way, they're not out of the hunt yet.
No, absolutely, they're not out. Which is sad, but yeah, I think they win. I think they get this one. Yep. All right. This one's pretty interesting. The Rams they're a weird team. They're 3.5-point favorites. Yeah, they're 3.5-point favorites at home against the Browns. I don't know what you really want to say about the Browns. I think they're good, but I'm not sure. What do you think about this one?
Well, anytime you got the shaky situation at quarterback that they have, they're very vulnerable to get beat, as Denver showed them. The Rams are playing so much better. They could get on a roll.
Yeah.
With the NFC hardly having any teams above 500. Big game for them. There'll probably be 10,000 LA fans there, I imagine. I'm going to go Rams to win.
Yeah. I'll take I hate this one. I'm going to take Cleveland plus 3.5 in this one. Joe Flacco going to start for the Browns. So this will be the fourth quarterback for the Browns this year.
Yeah, too bad, Cleveland. I could care less.
All right, let's keep going here. Got 3 more to go. This is a great game. 49ers at the Eagles. 49ers are a 3-point favorite here on the road against the 10-1 Eagles. So that tells you who Vegas thinks the best team in the league is, 49ers.
Yep.
What do you think, though? Do the 49ers actually go win this game is the question.
They need to flip-flop these two. Put the Chiefs, Packers at 325 and 49ers and Eagles at 720. I guess the Eagles can't play on Sunday night all the time. I love this Eagles team, don't you? They just win.
Yep.
And the Niners, I think, are better. I do overall. But I just think the Eagles just know how to win. They should have lost last week, but they didn't. I'm going to take the Eagles. I don't think they should be that. I don't think they should be underdogs at home.
Oh boy, that's a tough one for me. I think I'm going to go San Francisco. I just feel like they're they haven't. The Eagles have played so many tough games here
They
lately.
have.
And I just feel like, man, this is a really tough spot. San Francisco needs this win more than the Eagles do. I'm going to go San Francisco. I don't love it, but I think San Francisco -3 is the play here. I think they're going to go in there and beat them. So give me the 49ers. 2 to go here. Chiefs and the Packers. Chiefs are 6-point favorites on the road here in Green Bay. Green Bay coming off a big win. They could get another one here and kind of be back in it, but will they?
They're playing much, much better. Green Bay is. One couple in a row, maybe 3. Catching the Chiefs at a good time. Now the Chiefs played really well in the second half, I thought, at Vegas the other day. Got some stuff going. Again, got to figure out if Taylor's going to be there or not. But I like the Chiefs to cover. They hardly ever do, but I think they will in this one.
Green Bay +6 for me. I don't think the Chiefs are very good. I really don't. I just don't. They just.
Yeah, but aren't you going to pick them to win the AFC?
I don't think I can.
Well, who are you going to pick?
I think somebody will beat them. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. It's not time to pick that yet.
I know, but right now I think Baltimore could beat them.
Baltimore, if they get them in Baltimore, might be able to beat them.
Yeah.
All right, finally, Bengals and the Jaguars. This isn't, well, it's pretty bad because the Bengals are horrible, but Jacksonville, 8-point favorites here. What do you think?
Well, at least the Bengals have an excuse.
No quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's, look at their home record, 3-3. Of course, they had 2 home games in London,
right,
where they won them both. 8's a lot, but I don't think Cincinnati can score. They should cover this. I'm going to take them to cover 8.
I think you're right. I think Cincinnati's kind of done. They
could score more than 10. You think? Cincinnati?
Maybe. I mean, probably not though.
No. Couldn't Jacksonville score 20?
Yeah, I do. I think so. Yeah. Jacks -8. I think. God, I watched that Bengals game last week. Man, if they had a quarterback, they would have beat the Steelers. They just
see the Steelers got lucky in that regard that they got them that week. That's the first week without Burrow.
Yep.
So,
well, Browning, if he gets better, maybe because the one thing I'll say, like I don't think Cincinnati's like quit or anything like that.
No, they won't.
We'll see. All right, that's it. I've got a final thing for everybody.
Oh. Okay.
I've got a show recommendation for everybody to watch.
All right.
It's called Bye Bye Barry. It's a documentary on Barry Sanders.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Man,
I saw that advertised.
That's good.
Really?
You haven't seen it?
No. Bye Bye Barry. Like, where's he going?
Well, like he retired when he was 31 and
so that's about why he retired at 31.
Yeah, so it talks about him coming up, him growing up, and then like the great seasons he had and how the Lions just were awful and it's really it's really good.
He's got tired of losing.
Yeah. I think
he's kind of a strange dude.
He's strange, but when you kind of see how he was raised, how he grew up, you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, he's just from a small town and he just didn't care about media and he didn't care about attention and records and stuff like that. He had no worry of it. And one story I'll tell you is really funny. So his offers out of high school were Tulsa, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. That's the only 3 schools that offered him. And his dad, and I didn't know this, his dad was a massive Oklahoma fan. Massive. Went to every game, loved him.
I did know that.
Begging him to walk on at Oklahoma. Please, because he committed to Oklahoma State. He said, please don't do it. Please don't. You're making a huge mistake. So Pat Jones, the coach of Oklahoma State, came to the house for signing day. They're doing a thing for signing day. And Barry's dad would not shake his hand.
Is that right?
And Barry Sanders said it was so embarrassing. He's at the time, he said he looked right at Pat Jones and said, "My son's making the biggest mistake of his life, and I am not shaking your hand."
I have heard Barry Switzer say that was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made.
Oh yeah, and of course wins a Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma State, and beat out Troy Aikman and Rodney Peete were the other two.
Yeah,
and it's funny. His dad was so pissed at him when he retired because his dad, man, he loved to brag on him, and he was always at the games and stuff. But he said, "Well, I guess the one good news is I can go back to the Oklahoma games because I haven't been in 10 years because he'd been following Barry around." So
yeah. Didn't his dad sell cars?
I think he was a handyman. If I want,
I thought he was a car salesman.
Yeah, he may have been.
I don't know about that, but
very well liked guy in that community. They always said some nice stuff about him. So, what did Scott Mitchell say? Scott Mitchell was not in it. Rodney Peete was in it, and a couple of the offensive linemen were in it.
What's that on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, is it like 2 hours or?
Yep.
I'm just trying to see if I can stay awake.
Actually, I think it's an hour and 30 minutes.
I might make it.
Yeah, Gabe says Barry Sanders' 1988 stats at Oklahoma State were video game numbers. He has like 26,000 or 2,600 yards. I mean,
he was unbelievable.
Crazy. Yeah. They were showing some of his highlights, and Heather wasn't really watching, but she'd glance up every once in a while. And she's like, "Oh my God, this guy! Like I've never seen a guy run like that." I was like, "Yeah, no, me neither."
He was good.
Yeah. Yep. It was. That's really good. You need to watch that for sure.
All right.
I also stumbled on one more.
Okay.
You're probably not going to like it because you don't like this guy as much as I do. But there's a 30-minute like ESPN feature called Little Choices. It's about the Ryan O'Reilly and his family. Have you ever seen this?
No, 30 minutes.
It's 30 minutes long. You need to watch it. It's called Little Choices. Ryan O'Reilly, my favorite Blue of all time. I just saw that he was on the cover. I thought, I wonder what this is. So it's a story of Ryan O'Reilly's from like a little town in Canada, like 4,000 people. And the guy that runs the kids' ice rink in Canada would always open up the ice when it was closed for O'Reilly for years. He said, and the guy would say like O'Reilly would show up at like 6 a.m. and leave at 10 p.m. type of thing. Just crazy. Anyway, what it's about is that guy has a kidney disease and needs a kidney or he's going to die. And Ryan O'Reilly's mother donated the kidney to this guy. It's an unbelievable story. It's like he couldn't get one. And they don't really have a relationship with the guy. It's just like, oh, I remember him. He always would open the ice for Ryan, went through all this testing, all this stuff. They're like, yes, it's a match. She gives the kidney to the guy. It's incredible.
Wow. What's that on?
I don't remember what that was on.
No.
Hulu maybe, or Amazon Prime maybe was on it too.
You just look up Little Choices.
It's so good.
Okay.
If you don't like Ryan O'Reilly, you will after that.
I like Ryan O'Reilly.
It's awesome. It's awesome. They lived in like a converted schoolhouse that they turned into their house so they could have foster kids, and they fostered, I think they said like 46 kids.
Wow.
Like they're incredible people. It's unbelievable. Anyway, those are the two I would recommend. So
okay.
All right. Anything else before we get off of here?
Nope. I think we covered it. I'm
all
sure
right.
I've alienated all Arkansas fans. I don't really care.
Yeah, we've lost a bunch of Arkansas people. Yeah. That's okay.
It says Little Choices is on ESPN.
ESPN did it. I watched it on
okay.
Hulu.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's on Amazon Prime or not. But like I said, I just clicked on it because I thought, that's Ryan O'Reilly. I wonder what that is. And I was like, it starts off with like, here's where he grew up, and here's this guy that's always opening the rink, and this guy's talking about how O'Reilly just was incredible, blah blah blah, and then it turned into that. And I'm like, holy cow, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this, So
yeah.
Anyway,
okay. I will. I think it might be on ESPN Plus.
It's great. Like his mom was just like, maybe that's where I saw it, ESPN Plus. Anyway, but his mom was just like, they're like, why did you do this? You know, like give up a kidney and like, because I don't know like the details of like when you do that, but I think there's certain things you can't really do quite as well. Yeah. And she was like, why wouldn't I do it? And it's like, but yeah, but you don't even really know this guy. He's like, he was a neighbor and he needed help. Why wouldn't I? It was like, wow, that's incredible. So,
yeah, I would like to meet her.
Yeah, she's something. Yeah, she was really good. Keep Corey Perry away from Bonnie O'Reilly. All right, that's all in this. Corey, you stay away from Bonnie. Come on. All right, we're getting out of here.
He's too old for him.
Who knows? Corey's pretty old.
We don't even know. We're just speculating.
Curtis says, any thoughts on the Rims and Steak at Aqueduct on Saturday? You bet. Magic Mike show coming up at 4:00. Mr. Samich and I will be covering that late pick 5 there at Aqueduct. And then I'm guessing sometimes after Magic Mike, Jared and I will also be covering that on Blinkers Off. So a lot coming up on that. So Magic Mike coming up in a couple of hours. Blinkers Off probably sometime right after that. All right, we're getting out of here, guys. We will see you back here just a little bit later for Magic Mike and Blinkers Off. And Papa Dude and I'll see you back tomorrow morning with more Dudes Who Bet Daily. All right, see you guys.
This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, Associated Press